Oh, wait a minute. I think we got it.
Yay! All right.
Okay, would you just check?
Okay. Well, are you live now?
Yeah. Pardon the technical difficulties, but I do believe we have sound, which is kind of important in a endeavor such as this. We'll start in just about a second. Let Kelly get upstairs so she can moderate. All right, and here we go. We're good to go? Yes. Yay. All right, happy Monday evening, everybody. This is Voice and Movement for the Actor. In case we have never met before, my name is Max. Basically, this is not officially involved with acting out studios, although that's something I'm very much a part of, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will click into this who are part of acting out studios. But anyway, this is a great honor and pleasure for me to do this. So without any further ado, I want to just launch right into it. So. Just a couple of things. First of all, room temperature water. Drink plenty of this while you're in the process of doing your vocal warm-ups and exercises. And
I'm going to add moderators.
Okay, she's going to add moderators. Okay, while we're doing that, there is, if you've seen this before, using a regular drinking straw and a pencil. And also, for the purpose of this evening, I have another a clear glass of water, and there's something that I want to show you in this, because that also, I want to talk more about the whole straw phonation. So, while you're seeing 1/3 of my wife's face there, let us start with some basic breathing exercises. Just the whole thing is just to relax, put your hands over your belly button, and just pretend that you are breathing in and out through your belly button, in through your nose and out through your nose. And just do this for just a couple of rounds. Just. And if you're looking at it sideways, it's like this. And after you do a couple of rounds of breathing, then just start to very gently hum. Just leave your lips closed and hum with it. Hum with an M. Ready? And it goes. Try to make it as smooth as possible, and you do that by being as gentle with yourself as is possible. So try it again. And then I'm in a bit of an enclosed area here, but do the same thing, but with a slight twist at your waist as you're. And now do a bit of a head roll. And do that just about as slowly as you possibly can. And as I always say at the beginning of these things, if in the course of doing any of these exercises, anything hurts, if your voice feels scratchy, if the muscles of your throat start to feel like they're getting really tense or anything like that, please stop. If it doesn't feel right, please stop. If it hurts, if it's scratchy, if it's achy, if it's feels forced, if you find yourself running out of oxygen, um, any of that, just stop. So, all right, just along with the usual warm-ups, these again, start with a hum, and then with either with the heels of your hands or with your fingers, just massage your face, particularly um, the place where your jaw connects to your skull, and just start with an M sound. Come on through. There's all this technical stuff going on right here that you can't see that's just hysterical. But anyway, thank you. Okay, she's not quite done yet. But anyway, in the meantime, just start with a hum and then very gently drop your jaw and you're gonna make an "ah" sound. Just so it's ah. And just whatever your normal voice comes out as. Don't try to make it high, don't try to make it low, just whatever your voice normally comes out as. This is not about being pretty. This is about just getting warmed up. And again, as I've said this before, and I'll say it again, please know the difference between vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises because they're just like any other athletic physical thing. You want to warm up, you want to stretch before you go into the actual event. Same thing with dancers, football players, anybody. So start with an in breath and and then sort of like massage your throat. Do a head roll or two. Mm, Another way. Now, take one arm out, put it across your body, take your other arm out and sort of gently press your elbow in. Just inhale, and then as you go to exhale and make your ah sound, you're gonna very gently press this arm into your chest. So and same thing other side. Now put both arms over your head. Can't quite see this, but basically, I'm going to go try to back up a bit here. Basically, put your arms up. Do this on start on either side. It doesn't matter. But for me, this is my right hand. Take my left hand, pull the right arm up, and then from my hips down here, stretch over as we go to make an ah sound. Ah. And be gently pulling your arm with your other hand to get a good stretch right in. It's called the intercostal muscles. Ah. And switch hands and same thing other side. Now both hands to the front. Sort of get your fingers interlaced, and we're going to do a move it's going to go like this. And you're going to curve your spine as you make the sound. So it's going to go like mm, and see if you can increase the distance between your shoulder blades as you do this. Mm, and then start with your hands. Just be gentle. Just start with your hands and your wrist and shake. Mm, and then gradually let the shaking go from your wrists, go up your arms, get into your shoulders, and then eventually shake your entire body as you're vocalizing. And does this look ridiculous and insane? Of course it does. That's how you know you're doing voice exercises. So it goes like this. And then stop and then inhale very gently as you bring your arms in a circle over your head and then down. Exhale out through your mouth. Give it another circle and exhale through your mouth. Now you can it's a good idea to kind of have your arms swinging as you sort of do this sort of turn. I'm in a little bit of an enclosed space right now, so it's kind of difficult. But if you're like that, put your hands up on your shoulders like this, and then and shake it out again. And I wanted to mention something also. Um, Because basically, if you're singing or you're speaking well, it's because you're breathing properly. And there's an old trick. This is actually an old wrestler's trick that if you're whatever you're doing, if you're using your voice, but really if you're doing anything and you find yourself getting out of breath, if you're running, you're exercising, if you're doing whatever, and you just are getting out of breath, try this. You're gonna put both hands on top of your head. And what happens when you do this is you increase your lung capacity. So basically, if you find yourself just just hyperventilating and all that sort of thing, put your hands on top of your head like this, and then breathe in and out of your nose 10 times. And it's going to feel pretty weird at first, but by the end of the 10 times, your breath will be back to its equilibrium. It's just basically and do that 10 times. And it does work. It works really well actually. That's an old wrestler's trick, as I say. Now, at this moment, sip of water. Pardon me, I forgot how to swallow water. But anyway, um, at this point, um, gonna go for a hum again, but rather than an M sound, I want you to do this on an NG. And doing this actually creates more vibration. And the idea of this is that as you do this NG sound, you notice on your body where you feel the most vibration, where you feel the most buzz. It's like, "Mm." And it should actually feel a little bit tickly in some points. But just do this for a few rounds of breathing and then try to consciously relax more each time that you do it. And then just discover where in your body you get the most resonance, the most vibration, the most buzz. You should feel it in your face, up in your forehead, your cheekbones, in your sternum, your chest bones. You might feel it up in your clavicle and so forth. But to do this, one way that really helps to relax, and this is a Tai Chi internal martial arts thing. They also used it for voice and movement exercises, but you basically start and just give a big yawn and a big stretch, and just ah, Ah. Ah. And then stretch. Go up on your toes if you can. Stretch your arms over your head. Breathe in and ah. It's as if you had it's as if you had just come out of the shower or the pool and you're slinging water off of you. Just hands up in the air. Inhale. Ah. 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 And now do the NG sound. Take your hands, kind of make them like claws, get your, and then sort of tap on your chest as you. And the idea is that as you do that, you should feel the vibration increasing to more parts of your body. It should feel it'll probably start off like in small specific areas, but do that long enough, you should feel your whole chest cavity, the bones of your face, everything like that should feel buzzy and vibrating, and that's what you want. That's exactly what you want. You want vibration, because vibration is what makes sound carry, not volume so much. One thing is actually, I'll mention this. If you ever really want to figure out how the human voice works, do some research into how babies cry, and how they can just wah for hours on end. Um, but yes, how babies cry is studying those physics and that science is teaches you a lot about how the human voice works. So anyway, um, let's see. Let us do before we get into the really fun stuff. Let's do some. I want to do some vowel sounds, and we'll start. Um, I want to do a thing. There's this particular kind of vowel sound. It's called diphthongs, and basically a diphthong is a vowel that starts out with one sound and it ends on another. A is one. It starts off as an A and then it ends as an E. And now, as we do these various assorted vowel sounds, the idea of it is try to say it as slowly and extend it for as long as you possibly can. So it'd be like and this is actually done. Vowels have very specific mouth placements. Like an A is like that, and then an E is a smile. So basically, what you want to do is, with as relaxed of a breath as you can possibly muster, very slowly and gracefully as you possibly can, um, move your lips from one position into another. So it looks like a. Let's try an E to a U. So it sounds like ew. Ew. Um, I starts out as I, ends as an E. I, and then into E. and so on and so forth like that. That's kind of now that is a game you can play with yourself. You can actually take out your phone, take out your stopwatch, and see how long you can do from one vowel into another, just as smoothly and as cleanly as you possibly can. So, um, the next things I would like to move into, let's do some start going from the vowels into some articulation. Start with la la ye, la la you. La la ye, la la you. And see how slowly you can say is la la ye, la la you. And then as you find out how slowly you can say it, then slowly, then gradually start to pick up the pace. La la ye, la la you. La la ye, la la you, 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 la la ye, until you blah, 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 basically, and just see how fast you can, how slowly you can do it into how fast you can do it. Then it's luddle, laddle, laddle. Luddle, laddle, 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 laddle. Notice how just the more I do that, the faster it goes, the more animated and articulated my lip positions become. Um, La la ye, la la you, no, excuse me, ya ye, ya you, ya ye, la you. And also, and what I'm doing with my hand, this is actually called a mechanical assistant. Okay, and I've seen some singers actually do it quite a lot. Christina Aguilera is one. Um, that she'll be singing whatever, but she'll be sort of like orchestrating and guiding herself with her own hand. Um, says ya you excuse me, ya you and water. Okay. Um, and one more thing I want to say. Okay, the straw phonation, something that something that every time I go to do research for for this class or for anything, I always learn something new about it. But basically, if you've never seen this one before, this is a plain old drinking straw. And actually, you can experiment with different kinds of straws. You can do like the little skinny coffee stirrer ones, or like the big thicker ones that you use for like smoothies or bubble tea or stuff like that. If you can find those, go ahead and try the same exercise with these different sizes of straw. But this is just a plain old, you know, fast food drinking straw. But you put it in your mouth, and as you do these exercises, try not to have any air escaping from your lips around the straw. But and there's so many different ways that you can play with this. There's so much you can do with this. This is actually used. This method is used not only for vocal work, but also it's used as speech therapists use this as therapy to help people to get over things like stutters and lisps and stammers and so forth. And it's also, I came to discover, used by physical therapists for people who have gone through throat surgery. Um, and to get their voice back. And there's any amount of ways that you can use this thing. You can just attempt to speak through it as best you can, or to sing through it, you know.
To me or not to me, that is the question. Without us losing in the hand to suffer the things in order to represent or to take origin with the same approach.
Try the alphabet, try counting to 10, anything works. Um,
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
um, and then try doing things like 2 short blasts of an "ah" sound, followed by 1 long blast, or do 1 long blast and 2 short blasts. It's any combination, any way you wanna challenge yourself, do that. Just and also, 2 good songs to sing with this are the national anthem and Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. The reason being that there's some really weird kind of like ups and downs, as far as the range of pitch in those songs, and it's just they're complicated songs to sing in the first place, and it's very difficult to sound good sounding these songs, but if you can do it through one of these, once you take this silly thing out of your mouth, your voice becomes so much clearer. It's like or and so on and so forth. Now the other thing, and I'm sure anybody who's had me as a teacher is gonna go, "When is he gonna bring out the pencil?" Well, here it is. Um, articulation for actors, let me tell you guys one of the absolute best things you can do, one of the best practices. Um, tongue twisters, just tongue twisters in general are very good for actors to do. When I say tongue twisters, go do a Google search for tongue twisters, and you'll come up with a bunch of sites. Um, with all of this. I like 50 tongue twisters here that I got, from a Google search. It's like, "I saw Susie sitting in a shoe shine shop. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he?" So, just honestly, just practicing, um, tongue twisters, but tongue twisters with a pencil. And if you've seen me do this before, and if you're one of my students, you have, as you put the pencil in your mouth, imagine the words are coming out over the top of the pencil, okay? And I'm seeing all kinds of stuff going on in the chat here, and I will, stop for a second, and I will, take a look and see what everybody's saying. But, again, pencil in the mouth like so, and, um I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. If a dog chews shoes, whose shoes does he choose? I thought, a thinking of thanking you. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. She sells seashells by the seashore. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck, he would, as much as he could, as a chuck, as much. He would chuck, he would, as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. That's actually fun to say. I have to tell you. Let me do a couple more here. Near an ear, nearer an ear, and nearly eerie ear. Willie's really weary. Eddie edited it. Tom threw Tim 3 thumbtacks. He threw 3 free throws. 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. So this is the sushi chef. 4 fine fresh fish for you. And then once you get the thing out of your mouth, just sort of listen to yourself and what changed in your voice from before you were doing that to now. And again, tongue twisters, and again, and if y'all have seen the water trick before, and let's see how this works. But if you've never seen this before, take just room temperature water, put a little bit under your tongue, and then try to read tongue twisters. By the way, also, Shakespearean sonnets are also very, very good for this. Let's see here. Okay, a little bit of water under the tongue. I slept to sleep, and you're gonna drool like that. Lesser lever never weather better. A skunk sat on a stump and sunk the skunk stunk, but the stump sunk the skunk stunk. That actually was a skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump skunk. Yeah. A stunk sat on a stump. No, a skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunk the skunk stunk. Lesser weather never wetter weather better. That's all real. That's all, and also that's really, really old school actors' vocal exercises. Let me just take a quick look at the chat and make sure that nobody's calling me a crazy person, although you'd probably be justified in doing so. All right, cool. Let me see. What else did I want to do here? Um, okay, I wanted to talk also a little bit about movement, but at least it seems to be easier for me within or at least within the context of Zoom, um, to be trying to approach the subject of movement for the actor um, through vocal exercises. So one thing we would do a lot when I was in school and taking the acting programs. Um, You'd come across it in movement class a lot, but it was basically animal movements. And what is done a lot is called anthropomorphizing. And basically, that is giving animals human characteristics. Go look at, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Wile E. Coyote, same thing. And basically, they would have us do these things to where we would move and speak like an animal. We do these improvs, and when you do an improv, you get a who, a what, and a where. And it's like, who is it? A mother and son. Where are they? They're on the space station. What are they doing? They're making risotto. Be the same thing, except you'd say, okay, well, we have, a crane and a hyena on the space station making risotto. Or, you would have uh, a raccoon and a cat, um, waiting for the way train, and one of them is trying to, borrow money from the other. It's who, what, and where, but except with people, it would be with animals. And, it really helps to get your voice out also if your body is loose, if your body is relaxed. And, um, we used to do these, just like animal exercises, and one good thing is to actually pretend to be barking like a basset hound. Okay, and you sort of that sort of comes from the back of the mouth with the jaw, connecting to the skull. It's oh, whoa, 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 oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, 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 and it's just some of the best ones to do this for are dogs, dinosaurs. Um, you can like a cat, and you can basically move you it's sort of in the same idea as the mechanical hand assistant to get your voice to go in certain patterns. It's the same thing except you're using your whole body. It's like, um, if a basset hound were to do tongue twisters, you know, she sells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Seashells by the seashore. Um, a dinosaur is going to do Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether there's nobody going to say these things that already spoken. Hang on. And you'll know if you're doing it right or if you're doing it wrong if you do that. Now, one thing also that will help to get into those vocal ranges is to get into the different parts of where your voice is. Um, you've got your diaphragm, you've got your chest voice, you've got your speaking voice, you've got your falsetto voice, and you have your call voice or your belter's voice. And the speaking voice is like what I'm speaking right now. The call voice or the belter's voice, that's like, somebody's across a parking lot and you're trying to get their attention. Go, hey, you, hey. And the falsetto voice is where you go from and everything is up in the head, and you should really be feeling no strain in your throat at all when you're speaking in the falsetto voice. Now, on the other end of the falsetto voice, you have the fry voice, and this is where these animal noises can come in. But rather than going from the bottom to the top, you start from the top of the range and go down to the bottom. And when you get down to the bottom of your range, go a little bit farther. And it goes like, "Ah." Okay, and right here is the bottom of my range. I'm gonna go just a little bit farther. And it sounds like this. And it sounds like monsters and dirty blues singers and things like this. But this is not straining my voice at all. This is I feel no strain on my throat whatsoever. This is all coming from down here. All the musculature that is producing the sound is down here. Nothing here. I'm really feeling not much in my head except relaxation. And to do voices like that, and particularly when you're a big person with a deep voice like me, you're kind of as an actor, you're kind of and you're doing voice, you're kind of expected to do that stuff. But that's how you can actually do some of those really crazy vocals, um, and not hurt yourself, and do like the different cartoon voices, and and the dog voice, oh, 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 eh, ooh. And that is also what is generally known as singing as a dirty voice. You have a clean voice and a dirty voice, and the clean voice is very well spoken, and everything is very very smooth, and it's very pleasing to listen to. And you're not hearing a lot of me popping p's and t's into the microphone. It's very very clean, and it's Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. And then you get into the fry voice and the dirty voice of Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. And then take a pencil, just help to him to say hallelujah. And so on and so forth. Now, when you're doing these exercises, you got to be warmed up and you have got to have water. So to say really quickly, one of the things you have to be very conscious with when you're using your voice is how much oxygen you're putting out. Because we learned basically in school to do things like imagine when you're on stage and you're speaking that your head is like the or that you are a can of spray paint, or you are or you have a laser beam coming out of your mouth, and you look at the farthest point where you want your voice to reach, and you imagine that you're spray painting with your mouth, and it would go kind of like A-E-I-O-U, or or with like the laser beams, how. Now if you do that, what you'll notice is that there's a lot of oxygen going over your vocal cords, and that is where your vocal cords can dry out, and that's where you can start running into real problems with your voice. With so you want to be conscious of that as you're working. It's like how much oxygen is coming across your vocal cords, and if you do find you're doing that, and you will do that as you're practicing. Um, Always, 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 always have water. Never let your vocal cords get dry because it all comes back to breath control. And I want to show you something. And I have not practiced this one a lot, so I'm not sure how well it's going to go. But straw phonation, actually, this also teaches breath control. And as I said before, if you are speaking well, if you're singing well, it's because you're breathing properly. Um, And I know I've said my story is that I grew up until I was 15 years old with a stutter. It was a really bad stutter, and I really could not communicate with people really at all. Well, at least not vocally. And when I finally went to a speech therapist, it turned out the reason that I had the core reason I had this really bad speech impediment is because my breathing was messed up. I wasn't breathing properly. I was breathing too shallowly, and I was trying to say more words than I had air in my body to get across, and it just used to get all messed up. And I would start sputtering and stammering and stuttering, and my voice just went totally out the window. But in speech therapy, what they do if with a straw phonation is get a glass of water and then just start to blow into the glass of water, okay? And you're gonna get bubbles, of course, as the objective here, what the game is, what you try to practice on, and I claim to be no master of this whatsoever, but see how much air you can blow through the straw and make the smallest amount of bubbles, okay? This is tricky, okay? This is tricky, but if you can get this, it means that you're getting really good breath control. So and it's as if you're doing a vowel sound and you're trying to make that vowel sound just as smooth and hold it for as long as you possibly can. Just in E. If you put your hand in front of your mouth as you're doing that and you're feeling and just feel how much breath is hitting your hand. And then and the idea is to try to make that as small of amount of breath as is possible um, because as I say, you don't want excess air going over your vocal cords and drying your vocal cords out. Also, you don't want to be breathing into a microphone and you don't want to do that. Audio engineers get real uppity about that. So basically, it's that you're not making a vowel sound, but you're using the air as if you were. And again, try to, as you're doing this, see just where you are naturally as far as blowing bubbles into water, and then try to just with a smooth and continuous of tone of breath or a thread of breath, try to see you're still breathing, but you're putting out as minimal amount of oxygen as possible. And of course, you judge that by how many or how few bubbles that you're blowing. So yeah, see how little disturbance you can make in the water and how long you can reasonably sustain that for. So practice that. It's a trick. It ain't easy, I'll tell you. So anyway, and I guess let me just take one quick look here. Okay, so I think at this point I want to do one last thing, and then we will call it an evening. And as I said before, if any of you, I want this to be a regular thing, and it's being recorded for YouTube. So if you don't catch the live stream, you can come back and get it later. But if anybody knows anybody who they would be interested in this, just either doing it along with me or just observing or whatever, if this would help anyone, please feel free to share it. So anyway, I want to do a projection exercise. And this again, this is old school. When we did this in the theater program, you would have a partner, but the microphone is my partner. And basically, um, I would do the vocal exercise of red leather, yellow leather, a loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels, and then only make as much noise as you need to make, only make as much sound as you need to make to get the um to get the sound to your partner, in this case, the microphone. It's red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, a loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, a loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels, and just focus visually onto where you want the sound to go, where you're at and how far you need it to travel. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. And then start to move in. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. A loud sound, a round tone, hold your vowels. And on that note, friends and neighbors, we're going to call it a night here. Thank you. I hope this helps. I really sincerely hope this helps. In full disclosure, I'm figuring this class out. I'm figuring out how to teach this particularly over the internet, and it's to be totally honest, this is kind of like if I were a stand-up comic and I were working on new material. This would be like going to the Monday night open mic at the Improv, and in front of four people working the new materials. So you know thank y'all for joining me. I sincerely hope it helps. And as I say, also, I'm trying to really incorporate movement for the actor, but it's like you really need people in person to be doing that. However, the plan is excuse me, this coming Wednesday evening. That will be December the 8th at 7:30 Atlanta time. Um, Actually, I want to try with Kelly. Um, Doing a thing, and we used to do this a lot also, but it's sheerly physical thing. There's really not voice in it at all. You can add voice to it, but it's a thing called contact improv, and that is my plan to do that for Wednesday evenings. So I'm making it as much of a mission as I can make it to really hopefully teach you guys some kind of movement for the actor within this forum, within these parameters, and because it's very important to learn how to move as an actor, and that's one thing I feel like we're really lacking in, as far as teaching people the art and the craft and the science and the weirdness of how to act. So anyway, my friends, I there's so much stuff I want to teach you. There's so much stuff I want to talk about and share, and I just am very, very grateful for y'all just giving me your ear for a little while. It's a great honor and a pleasure and a privilege, and I thank you very much. And on that note, I wish you a very glorious rest of your Monday evening. Be well, my friends. Talk to you soon. And end stream.